Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's live session. So, guys, these are some of the headlines I want us to look at. Some of the things that have been trending on the social media that you and I, as Nigerians, have to know about. This is one of the appeal court judges. You can see appeal court judge accused of taking bribe to uphold Dapo Abiodun's election slumps dies during promotion to Supreme Court. So Nigeria, strange things will not end, in Nigeria, as in strange things will just keep happening in this country. So many people have come out to say, oh, Nemesis has started catching up on them, those of them that betrayed Nigerians and thought they could outsmart the people. You can imagine this is one of the people that that Tinubu decided to promote, especially those of them that handled the tribunal, those of them that handled Peter Obi's case at it's not the Supreme Court level, at the appeal court level, even that of Kano State. Most of them, many of them are being promoted to the Supreme Court. So, and Nigerians have reacted. They are saying, oh, this is for the work, job well done. That is why they are promoting them. And this is one of the persons that have been promoted, one of the judges. Look at, he slumped and died during this promotion occasion. Honestly, trust Nigerians. They are like saying, anyway, they are reaping from what they've sown. That is why it's always good, to do the right thing. Even possibly this man died from a particular ailment, but Nigerians are now attaching it to the kind of judgment that we've been seeing, because we believe that one day God will remember these people if they are just betraying Nigerians, because they feel they have the power, they are in the position, and they just do things the way they do it. Honestly, one day God will remember them and it won't really look good, because when God remembers somebody, I mean, in the negative aspect, it does not really go well. We saw what happened to Nebuchadnezzar in the Bible when he thought, okay, power belonged to me, everything was done by me, I have the strength, I have the authority, and all that. God had to dethrone him. So look at it. This is one of the people who gave one of these latest or recent judgments that we've seen. So many of them are being promoted. This is one of the judges too, uh, in the case of Kano State. This is him. He's also being promoted. And don't forget that Mr. Samani is also one of the people who have received this promotion. Many of them who gave this judgment that has provoked so many Nigerians are being now sent to the Supreme Court. Nigerians, I tell you, there is no we are not going to see any transparency in governance under this current leadership we have today. Everything has been messed up. So it appears these people were promised, as in, go and deliver the judgment in our favor. Number one, we are going to build houses for you, but we'll ensure you have enough cars, we'll promote you, your salary. Remember, this government has also mapped out promotion packages for them, as in terms of their salaries. And now you've seen them being promoted to the Supreme Court. So somebody like Justice Samani is one of those who are now moving from the tribunal level. He's now going to the Supreme Court, and the rest of them. So honestly, this is one of the things that is setting Nigeria backward. I mean, the level of corruption in this country is not going to die down anytime soon. So if somebody should do all this for you, why will you not keep upholding anything that has to do with him? See, in case you don't know, all these things are strategies for next election. You can imagine now, Samani is being promoted from the tribunal to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court will always have the final say. And these people are planning to come back again. They still want to come and contest for this election. I mean, the person of Tinubu will still want to run in 2027. You've heard Wike saying that, oh, I will not contest against him. I will not run alongside with him in case he wants to run. I'll just allow him to run. For giving me this privilege to be the FCT minister. No, I will not want to. If I contest, I will run against him. It means that I'm not grateful. I'm not one of those ingrates. Wike, you know how he talks now. He has opened up and said, oh, because for me, I was thinking that Tinubu will never dream of running again for presidency. After all that happened during this election, for me, I was like, oh, maybe he's just waiting for these 4 years to end and let him go and retire and have his peace and have his remaining, if at all there's any respect that is remaining, he will just go and protect that prestige at the moment. But if he dare comes out again, Nigerians, that he wants to run, how are you going to consider his person? How are you going to describe such a scenario? So look at it, they are being promoted now. Okay, from the tribunal you are going to the Supreme Court. Go there and defend us. Anybody that brings any matter there, you know what to do. So the system has been gacked, the system has been taken over and all that. So I have a video here I want us to react, because Kenneth Okonkwo has come out to say, okay, that the Supreme Court has finally released the CTC copies of the judgment. And there are a lot of things that are being uncovered. It appears Peter Obi, in short, if Peter Obi, if it's possible, to like reappeal against the judgment of the appeal of the Supreme Court, it means that Peter Obi is going to be the president of this country, because there are a lot of, controversies, things that were not rightly done in that judgment. And Kenneth Okonkwo was on Arise television to it kind of analyze the content of that judgment. But before then, let me take you guys through some of these other headlines that we have um, from the social media. So you can see that this man is no more alive. For those of them that think that, they don't remember that we are not permanently living on this planet Earth. So this company has exit Nigeria. P&G, this is a very big company. They said about 5,000 jobs are going to be lost, and we have like some billions of naira that will be leaving Nigeria, because of this company exiting the Nigerian market. And one of their reasons is that the country is no more conducive for them to do their business. Nigeria and Argentina are two of the countries where they will be living. So they are like, we are done. We are done. They've been trying all this while to see if things will normalize. But from the look of things, they've looked into the future. They are not seeing any good thing, coming their way if should they stay back in Nigeria. So they've made up their mind that they are leaving the country. We all saw how the other company left not quite long, and this one now is leaving. So many companies are leaving. This other day, like I shared with you guys the other day too, that an analyst was on Arise television. He was telling the public that, see, many companies are leaving. It's just this one that will come out to make theirs open that we know. But many companies are secretly leaving Nigeria. Many companies. So we are going to see more of job loss. Nigerians are going to be losing their jobs, and then the hunger is going to be multiplying by the day, because you can imagine if somebody has 5 children together with yourself, your wife, you are 7 in the family, and you've been working in this company. All of a sudden you have now been told that, oh, this company is folding, we are no more operating here in Nigeria, we are leaving. Tell me how this person is going to manage his life. Honestly, this is not really what we expected from this government. They told us that they are going to keep the ground running from the first day they will assume office, but that is not what we are seeing today. Like you can see, honestly, it's not what we are seeing, and there is even nothing that is being done as to this regard. So this is Mr. Peter's side saying departure of P&G indicates rule of law concerns driving away law-abiding businesses from Nigeria. The policies that we have, Peter Obi has always said, you must make the environment to be business friendly. Make the environment to be business friendly, and then you see businesses coming to Nigeria. You don't need to go out. Like we said, that the president has budgeted billions of naira for traveling. I think it's in dollar, for traveling in 2024. That's next year, for himself and the vice president. And then an analyst was asked on why this budgeting, why this big amount just for traveling. He said, anyway, that we know that this government is saying that they will be more involved in going out to engage the people outside, so that they will come to invest in Nigeria. They will come. You are the one to go and be begging them to come and invest. You will not fix your house and make it more attractive for people to come in and invest. You rather want to go and beg them. And by the time they come in, they just perceive the smell of the environment, the business environment. They will take to their heels. They will run away. So this government does not even know what it takes to, attract investors. If they had, from the day one they entered office, they start working on how to stabilize the business environment, make sure things are working, put policies in place. And with the kind of judiciary we have today, it will even make things more difficult because people no longer have confidence. If a businessman is coming to Nigeria to invest and you are worried, should somebody dupe you or take your money, which court are you going to run to? Is it this court that we keep mentioning, how they are just, doing things the way they want to do it just to please a certain group of people, the politicians? How will you want investors to even see Nigeria as a serious country and they want to come and invest here? So Mr. Peter's side is adding his voice to this, saying that it indicates that the rule of law is really what is even driving businesses away, because we don't have rule of law in this country. A court can even give the government order to pay somebody money for damages. The government will not even listen to you, and all that. So many times they've ignored court ruling. They only accept court rulings when it favors them. When it favors them, like we've seen during this election, once it is in their favor, they will tell you the court has said. And that is why the INEC chairman told us, if you are not happy, go to court. That is their language. Honestly, this is not a good news. Mr. Peter Obi himself has reacted because his own is to move Nigeria from consumption to production. That is, his own message. As in, if you want to generalize Peter Obi's, or you want to summarize his campaign promises to the Nigerian people, you just like say it is just moving Nigeria from consumption to production, so that we'll become a productive people. We'll be able to export, earn dollar, our naira will stabilize, people will be happy. You see that many people are suffering from hypertension. Just the environment alone, the hostility in the environment is making people sick. It's making people sick. How many people are really happy in Nigeria today? Because of the biting situation, the economy is really biting, as in things are not working. So this company now is leaving, and this person tweeted and said, okay, P&G that provides 5,000 jobs for Nigerians leaves Nigeria on the ground that it is difficult doing business in Nigeria. It is difficult to operate in Nigeria. That is P&G. It is difficult to do business in Nigeria. And we have seen our president and his vice being busy, allocating money to renovate this, renovate that house, buy these fleets of cars for the president, for even chief of staff, for the first lady. These are the areas. This is why they came into government, just to like fill their mouth and fill their stomach, not to serve the people. Government is about serving the people. When you come, understand the plight of the people and try to reduce the problems of the people. But no, since they came in, somebody was asking on Twitter, tell me one thing this government has achieved. They are now more than 6 months in office. Tell me just one thing that you've seen them achieve. Since they came in, Naira is just, reducing the value of Naira. Naira is just dying, our currency. And everything is being done now in dollar in Nigeria. Let me tell you, there is this aircraft, Nigerian aircraft, that is being marketed now. They want to auction it. And you know what? The price is in dollar. So Ruben Akpati was like asking, why are they selling this thing in dollar? Why not use the Nigerian currency? So you can even see that it's our government that is destroying this country. Later now they will go after people who have houses and who have schools, and they are collecting like school fees or rent in dollars. But they themselves, they are making the same mistake. You want to market something that belongs to you as a country, as a government, and you are selling it. You are using another person's currency, meaning you are not even promoting your own currency. So how do you even want Naira to stabilize? How do you want Naira to be strong when even our government officials, you see during election, when during primaries, they will be buying, as in people to vote for them with dollars, not naira. They spend dollars during primaries, and they will come to tell us, oh, this is what we are doing to make sure the naira stabilizes, when they are the one destroying the naira. So there are a lot of things in Nigeria, and that is why we keep saying that we, the Nigerian people, especially the youths, we dare not sit back and just leave these people to manage this country. Before you know it, there won't be any Nigeria. We should all sit up. Like Peter Obi has invited the Nigerian youths and say, oh, let's form a strong opposition. Opposition is not go there and fight. Opposition is calling this government to order each time they are stray, each time they go the other direction. You remind them of what the constitution says. You tell them what they should be doing. Because as it stands now, they don't even know what they are doing. Peter Obi has criticized Wike's plan to use 15 billion to go and complete the vice president's residence. He's like saying that that money can be used, even if it's just to pay some of our professors. Some people, many people are being old in Nigeria, and we were told that very soon, even paying salary is going to be difficult, because now servicing of debt is taking most portion of our revenue. They write a lot, but they are not paying attention. They are just busy. Let's use this for this. Let's use this for this. Anyway, somebody like Femi Gbajabiamila has come out to debunk. Uh, there've been this news that he's going to get this amount for his office, for computers and all that. He has come out to say, okay, there is nothing like that. But we believe that the information came from a legitimate source, that this is what they are trying to do. But you keep wondering, why is it that this government, since they came into power, is all about this money will be used for this money will be used for, not even to empower small businesses in Nigeria, not even to empower small businesses. Many countries are surviving through their small businesses, because these are the businesses that will end up employing other people. Some of these businesses can employ, even if it's just 10 people, even if it's 20, before you know it, the number keep increasing. But they don't pay attention to all these small businesses. They are just busy spending the money. We saw them going to Dubai, taking so many number of persons, and they keep asking why this number of people, who is going to pay? The taxpayers are going to pay. Don't forget that most of these are politicians. They don't own businesses. They don't even know what it means to run a business. They've not tried it before. So when it comes to spending the money, most of them have been in the House of Assembly for like 20 years. They don't understand what it means, for one to go through the pain of earning, even if it's just 1,000 naira. Then at the end of the day, you pay that tax. They will just be using it to live a flamboyant life. That is Nigeria for you. So we just hope that things will get better. Okay, look at this. This is coming from Ruben Awati. He posted today and says that State House budgets 9.5 billion for tires of bulletproof cars, SUVs, and others. Just for tires. It's not as if these cars are going to come in tireless. So they will come in with their tire, but maybe extra tires should anything go wrong. And this budget are just going to be just within the space of 1 year. You see the amount of money that is being budgeted. And when ASU asks them now to give us 10 billion, they will say, ASU, you have to come to the discussion table. ASU must come and discuss. ASU did not come to the table for discuss. ASU left us. They will just keep calling ASU people. Don't forget that ASU has even renewed their demand, asking for payment. That period they were on strike, they weren't paid. Buhari's administration didn't pay them. So they've come up now, they are like asking them to pay them that money. Nigerians, we just have a country that does not even care, honestly. See this amount of money now. We don't have good hospitals. These people will still be the one to take the taxpayers' money now to go and take medical care outside the country. But look at where they are budgeting it, because they know when they fall sick, they have their own way, as in they have where they will go to go and take treatment. But for an ordinary Nigerian, you will not even find a good hospital. Some people have been misdiagnosed, as in you are sick of this, you'll be told you are sick of something else. And at the end of the day, when the wrong treatment is being administered, what happened? The person might end up losing his or her life, or the situation might just get complicated, and then the person will just keep suffering it all along. So, but they don't care because they know that they have another option for themselves. See it, Wike spent 4 billion to renovate official residence. This is for himself. Oh, this is for himself. Tell me, when did he come into power? How long? How many weeks has he spent in Abuja? When he has already spent this money. You know that the president said, Wike, in short, all the revenue for coming from Abuja, you are going to be the one to be supervising it. It's not going to be coming into the federal account. No, it's just under your jurisdiction. So anyhow, Wike wants to like use the money, he has been given the power. So people have equally interpreted that, is this a tactic they are trying to use for the or the next year's the next election? Because if he should have the sole monopoly and authority over the revenue being generated from Abuja, it means that he may decide anyhow he wants to use it. Okay, president, you can use this for your campaign, you can use this for the party, you can, all those stuff. We are living in a country where we don't even hold these our leaders accountable, and that's why these things are not going to stop happening. Just look at it. He spent it's not as if that house is newly built. So maybe that's the house the ex-minister left just for a few months ago, and then he came in and he's using 4 billion to renovate it, just to renovate. What's the renovation going to be all about? Maybe to paint it. What else again? I'm just wondering what else is it? It's not going. Is okay. Maybe change the toilets and the bedroom and the kitchen, possibly. So, but look at how much it's going to cost. This is the amount they told us. So who knows the actual amount? Because it may end up not being this amount. Like in Lagos State, when they were being accused of using 2 billions just to buy fans, before you know it, they changed it. They said, it was a mistake. They now had to, other figures were changed. Immediately that website was exposed, as in they now went and changed some figures. So that is Nigeria for you, because they thought people would never dream of going to that website to see what and what is there. But when they now noticed that Nigerians were busy going there to see for themselves what and what they penned down there, they started changing figures. So who knows if this is even the actual uh, amount that is being spent in renovating his residence. So you see, surpassing the initially budgeted amount of 150 million. So initially it was supposed to be 150 million. Now it now moved to 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion to 4 billion naira Nigerians. You see, this is how taxpayers' money are being mismanaged. Nigeria's capital city, Abuja, is is no longer safe since federal lawmaker. Anyway, I talked about this yesterday because we heard there's a lot of kidnapping going on in Abuja currently, and the person who was saying that it's not even in the village areas, as in those village areas inside the city. One of the senators was even saying close to where embassies are, as in bad things are happening in Abuja. I think they should even pay attention to all this instead of using our money to say you want to build signature projects for the president. Yes, so I'm going to be taking you guys because this topic, we took it yesterday. President Tinubu budgets 10 billion to renovate Femi Gbajabiamila's official residence, another 570 million for travels. Anyway, we've seen some of these. They are no longer new news because but we really need to keep calling our attentions to all these things, because if we just play I don't care attitude, these people will understand that Nigerians don't care. Because like when it comes to protests now, they believe that they've seen that Nigerians are afraid, they can't come out to protest. As they are just monitoring every step that we take so that they will know how to do whatever they want to do. But I think it's time for us to start calling out these people. They should spare Nigeria so that this country will survive, honestly, because they don't care. From the look of things, they don't care. So this is coming from Abia State. We know the Abia governor has been, putting in his best, as in this man has really been trying. When you go to Aba, so many of the routes, and the speed at which they are completing project there in Aba, it's as if the money was just heaped somewhere. Or I believe he borrowed money, but you can see him, using that money for the good of the people. He has been involved in, building and reconstructing so many routes. So, but now he's inviting, or possibly investors are seeing Aba now as an attractive place for them to go and partner with the government so as to do business. So Poland and Bulgaria are these two countries were there in Aba to discuss with him. They want to be involved in this partnership of making sure that Aba sorry, not just Aba, Abia State becomes another business hub. So we just say kudos to him. He's doing well. We want to see other governors emulate the person of Governor Oti. He once told us that he's going to make sure he takes care of Abia State the way Peter Obi took care of Anambra State. And we're already seeing that happening. And we must appreciate people like this, you know. This is coming from the Northerners. They are now shouting. Anyway, when they presented Muslim ticket, they said it was a good thing for them because they wanted to ensure that the Muslims are the ones ruling Nigeria. So Tinubu's body language shows he's not interested in security. It's them that is now lamenting that this government does not even care. You know, look at what happened in Kaduna, how the army, the military just mistook the civilians for the bad guys in the bush, and you know, just finish so many people's lives there. That is it. So they are saying that the president is not even bothering himself about issues that has to do with the northerners. But I don't think that is the case, because we've not seen any part of the country, you know, being helped by this current administration. We've not seen any. It's only Lagos that has even received more attention, because we've seen him, you know, bringing so many of his boys from Lagos into his government. So that is just the area I would say that Lagos has benefited, because we see many of them walking around him, unlike people from other parts of the country. So we are just hoping that they will wake up from their sleep and their slumber. Anyway, let's go to the video I want to share with you guys about the just released CTC copies of the judgment from the Supreme Court. Let's listen to what Kenneth Okonkwo has to say.
Article's case, and there was no reason for them to reiterate anything again. That was what Justice Inyang said. And he even went further to berate the appellants that they ought not to have even brought issue 4, because according to them, in the earlier case of PDP and INEC, they have taken decision. Now, reading the entire city judgment of the 7 judges, I was surprised to see some issues in the judgment of 3 justices of the Supreme Court that was not announced in the court. I was there in the court. The issue of forfeiture of $460,000, which was proceeds of narcotics. Now, this is the broad way judgment goes. In any judgment that involves majority of judges, they must sit before the judgment day. They will elect the person that will write the leading judgment. And in that leading judgment, all issues must be decided. And it is when more numbers of the judges concur to the issues, that is how leading judgment comes. Now, those 3 judges that wrote the forfeiture issue in their judgment, where did they get that issue from? Because it was never mentioned in the leading judgment. Because you either concur or you dissent. Now, assuming without conceding that they even announced it, 3 justices, they are minority. Because it would have been better they didn't even mention anything about it. So does it mean now that the majority of the judges have now ruled against the 3 judges? So this judgment, as far as I'm concerned, broke every issue of the ingredients of a judgment of a court.
Well, you know, you were in court. You were part of the legal team, so you know better than me what happened. I'm looking at that certified true copy that they sent to you now, because it says that the 7 issues raised and canvassed by each of the 2 appellants in their respective briefs or arguments are not only identical, but materially and substantially and essentially the same.
Absolutely.
Right.
They even call it sister appeal.
Right.
And it was, these are the 4 judges that upheld this perfectly and accurately. And I'm talking about Justice John Inyango Okoro. I'm talking about Justice Saulawa. I'm talking about Justice IMM Abubakar. No, Tijani Abubakar. And I'm talking about Justice Mohammed Lawa Gaba. 4 of them. Then the other 3 justices, I do not know where they got the issue of forfeiture from. That is an insertion. And that is very dangerous. Because, like I said, it is illegal and unconstitutional for you to insert in a written judgment a decision that was not announced publicly to the court. So the 5 criteria for you to judge a judgment: 1, it must have been announced in the court; 2, it must be written; 3, it must be in public; 4, once the court is done, the court is functions official. None of them. Then 5, but after the judgment, 7 days is what the court has to give the copies to the parties. It was not done. None.
Right. But what about the lead judgment by
Yes.
John Inyang Okoro,
Yes.
which said at the end of it that on the whole this appeal lacks merit and is hereby dismissed,
Absolutely.
and the appeal is dismissed? I mean, does that comprehensively cover it?
No. The issues of forfeiture.
So, guys, what he's trying to say is that when they got this CTC judgment, they discovered that some of the issues that the judges kept mute on, they didn't mention it during the ruling in the court, were found in the judgment. And unfortunately, those points were being upheld by just 3 judges. You know, we have 7 of them, meaning that the 4 other judges were not involved. So if we should even go by that, it means that what they wrote in that judgment cannot stand, because it is being written just by the minority, not the majority. Just 3 judges instead of the other 4. So this is one of the reasons why they refused to release this judgment to them. You can imagine, instead of them to release it after 7 days, that is what the law says. You have to release it to the parties after 7 days of the judgment being given. But we didn't see that happen. 40 days came and went until the Labour Party started raising alarm that they've still not got this CTC judgment from the Supreme Court. And now they just released it. Possibly they released it today because this interview was granted by Kenneth Okonkwo today. So this is the kind of country that we have. This country is just something else. Under the leadership of the CJN and Ian Okoro, who is the chairman of the justices from the Supreme Court that saw to this case. This is the kind of people. I'm just wondering what kind of influence do these our politicians, the presidency has on some of these judges, that sometimes they just do things, ridiculous things that will just expose them. You didn't mention this thing. They were trying not to go deep into Peter Obi's cases. If you monitored how that judgment went in the court, so many things were just touched up. They didn't really go in depth. They will just tell you, Abuja. They didn't really go in depth. Nigerians did not really get explanation as to why they are telling us that Abuja is now like any other city, any other state. There is no special status. They did not really, you don't really get details of all this and see how the judgment now is coming. Meaning that this judgment is somehow opposite of what was ruled in the court. Just like in the case of the Kano State, where they said, the governor should leave office. But when they now brought the written judgment, they upheld the governor's position. Now they are bringing an issue that was never mentioned in the court. We are now seeing it in the CTC judgment. That's Nigeria for you, honestly. Let me allow you to watch more of this and then we call it a day.
And some other issues we are not mentioned at all in the appeal of article. So there's no way it could have been comprehensively, dealt with.
So what happens now? Is there a process for seeking clarification and possibly rectification and restitution?
Now, the Chief Justice of Nigeria ought to summon an emergency meeting, because this has impugned the character of the judiciary worldwide.
Yeah, but what I mean is are you going to apply for that? Are you going to write to them to say, well, these are the discrepancies and we demand, I mean, because, I mean, let's face it, that those justices are supposed to deliver justice, and you have a right to ask and ensure that that justice is delivered. I mean,
good. Without prejudice to further actions that we may undertake, recall that the decision of the Supreme Court, unfortunately, is final by Section 235. But as a minister in the Temple of Justice, I am worried that this kind of judgment should never be a precedent in Nigeria. And the Chief Justice of Nigeria has the duty and the right to proclaim it as such.
Yeah, but would you request of him
we
to
don't
do
need
that?
to request it. In 1979,
or draw his attention to
in 1979 or thereabout,
right,
the Supreme Court gave a judgment in the Shagari presidential issue, and they even announced in the judgment that this should not be taken as a precedent. And it is very sound in law, because Montesquieu, the father of spirit of laws, he said a precedent can only be established when judgment is conformable to the dictates of the law. That is the only time you can fix a judgment and say it should be a precedent. And he warned that if you do not give judgment based on law, then it will become the opinion of the judges. And there is no way the people will know exactly what the obligations are.
Right. Okay.
This particular judgment should not be a precedent in Nigeria. Everything is wrong about it.
Okay. Well, we're going to have to.
So, Tinubu is not supposed to be a president in Nigeria. Do you think the CJN can boldly come out to make that kind of statement, considering these discrepancies in this judgment that has been issued to the Labour Party? So just because the Supreme Court has the final say, so it appears their hands are tied. They can't really take any action, because no matter where you go, they will tell you when the Supreme Court speaks, it's final. You can't oppose it, you can't appeal it, you can't say, you can't do anything, except if the CJN on his own, takes this bold step to say, oh, because of this and that, Tinubu is not supposed to be the president of Nigeria. That's the only way something can happen as it stands now. But do you think he can do that? Nigerians, we are living in a very funny country, I must tell you. This country is so funny. Very, very funny. Look at it. They will come to court because they are never ready, they are never prepared. And each time they read the judgment, you think somebody wrote it for them. You think somebody just forced it on them. You think they were just, under gunpoint to, like, you must read it. And they will come out and just dish it out. And they dish out this judgment. They never thought they should give the Labour Party a copy. They were trying to hide it. And not until now that the Labour Party started, raising alarm that we've still not got copies of the judgment you rendered, only for them to come out with this judgment now. And now look at the level of, discrepancies, comparing it with what they gave in court and what is stated in the judgment, a lot of differences. So this is it, fellow Nigerians. We have a country that we just need to keep praying to God. And for me, I can't wait to see God's judgment, especially on these people that feels they own Nigeria, feels the masses will not breathe because they are in certain position, that they can just capture the state, capture everywhere. They own the country, nobody should speak. Peter Obi criticized Wike's plan to use such amount of money, 15 billion, to renovate house for the vice president. Shetima now started bouncing on Peter Obi that he's suffering from post-election trauma because he failed the election. Can you imagine the person of Shetima trying to, stand Peter Obi? There is no match, as in terms of character. Tell me, somebody who has linked with the bad boys in the bush, somebody that has been called out, for being one of the people that allowed the bad boys in the bush to exist in Nigeria, people who have destroyed the economy, the image, they everything about Nigeria. Tell me what Boko Haram has not done to Nigeria. Tell me, when you go out, even if you are from the south, people will look at, once you say you are a Nigerian, they will think you have anything to do with those bad boys, because we once had people like Shetima as governor, and they don't even feel ashamed, for him to come out and begin to talk against Peter Obi. I think they've just lost their senses. That's the way I look at it, because these people, they don't feel ashamed for their action. If he should know what he did, that Nigerians are not happy with, he will not boldly come out to come and start talking to Peter Obi in terms of his is because he didn't win the election. Who told him Peter Obi didn't win? Peter Obi will know won this election, whether they like it or not. They are just trying to take away the attention of the Nigerian people. But we know that it's INEC that selected them, and the judiciary helped to uphold their position as president and vice president of the country. And because stolen mandates, you can't really use it for the good of the people. Like somebody once quoted, there's this Igbo poet that said, when you steal somebody's thing, you can't really use it. When you steal a mandate, you can't use it for the good of the people. And that is what we are seeing in Nigeria today, because these people were not even ready to serve the people. They just found themselves in this position. So look at how the country is going. Look at how the country is going. People that sang this, everything yaga yaga, poor man, they suffer. Everything is just turning upside down when they promised us that they were coming to hit the ground running from day one. So guys, I don't want to take much of this video, but you can also watch it on Arise Television. I want to call it a day at this point, and I really want to appreciate you all for joining me in today's live session. Please don't forget to like this video so that YouTube can recommend it for more persons to watch. And I need your support. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so that you get all our updates. And I really want to appreciate your time. Thank you so much. I don't take it for granted. Let's see you again tomorrow. Good night and God bless you. Bye.